So today, first of all, I am sweating. What is happening? It's November and I'm literally sweating. Like my favorite time of year. I'm supposed to be layering up, sitting here, drinking hot cocoa. I'm about to turn on my AC. I'm trying to let this baggy shirt kind of fan. Anyways, that's way besides the point. So today, I'm not excited to announce what we're doing today, but I feel like we're gonna get through it together. Today, we are taking down Halloween. I'm not gonna say Halloween is over. I'm gonna say Halloween is complete. It's officially complete, the season. And I know a lot of us here decorate for Halloween all year round. I usually decorate with a dark aesthetic all year round, so I have spooky things or things that I get during Halloween season that stay out all year round, which you'll see. I'll talk a little bit about in this video, but we're taking down all the Halloween stuff. And it's bittersweet because obviously I'm sad to see the season go, but I also get excited because there's something about decorating and undecorating or taking the decorations down that is so therapeutic to me. I don't know if it's just having a fresh space, like, you know, just a blank canvas to decorate for the next season, just that kind of fresh start feel. But also there's something about taking my little Halloween decorations and wrapping them nice and tight and snug and tucking them into their little storage container. There's something about it. So anyways, now that I'm babbling on for 5 minutes, if you're out there and you're like, Ghoul, this would have been helpful like a month ago. Well, first of all, I was still decorated a month ago. I'm not gonna take things down before Halloween even happens. But also I like to leave things up for a while after Halloween and enjoy it for a little while longer. But I thought this would be a helpful video because we do have another season of decorating coming up where a lot of people decorate for the holidays. So I figured if you already packed up your Halloween stuff, you'll have a whole other round of stuff to pack up here coming up if you decorate for the holidays. Anyways, long story longer, I'm taking you with me as we take down all the Halloween stuff, and I'm trying something new this year. The way I'm storing things is a little bit different. So I did a video a couple years ago, I will put a link down in the description box for you, where I stored my holiday decorations, my Halloween decorations. I did things completely different then because I was in a different stage of Halloween accumulation. I've also changed the way I decorate. I do more themed rooms now. So I just switching it up. I like trying new things. I like making my life easier when I go to take out my Halloween decorations next year. Anyways, I have talked forever. I'm so sorry this intro is so long. We're just taking down the decorations. Let's get on with it. So anyways, if you want to see how I take down my Halloween decorations, store them, and all my little tips and tricks that I've got, or maybe you just want some inspo, some cleaning and organizing inspo, let's get on with it. Let's get into it. Let's do it. We're taking down Halloween. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do is bring up all of my orange Halloween totes, bringing them up from the basement, and I get all of my totes, well, some of them are from Target, but most of them are from Menards because they have the best prices on these orange Halloween totes or any of their holiday totes. I think they're about $4 or something like that, which can't be beat. Everywhere else, I feel like has been like $7 or $8 around that range. So Menards is where it's at. And I prefer to get the color coordinated ones. So I get the orange ones for Halloween and the red ones for Christmas time. And I know some people prefer the clear totes so they can see everything inside. I just prefer the color coordinated situation. It looks pretty, basically, is what I'm trying to say. All right, once I brought all my totes upstairs, I decided to start with the easiest thing ever that doesn't require any wrapping up or protecting or anything like that. I started with my throw pillows and bedding. All the Halloween throw blankets I keep out all year round, so it's just mainly throw pillows and then the comforter that I got from Lakeside Collection this year. So as I was trying to maneuver these pillows into this bin, I realized that I had accumulated way too many throw pillows. Well, not way too many, just too many to fit into this bin. I was going to end up taking up 2 or 3 bins by the time I got the pillows and the blanket and everything in there. So I realized that last year I bought these vacuum seal bags or whatever they are from Amazon. I know you can also get them from Dollar Tree, but I got these ones from Amazon and I had never used them. So I decided to finally put them to good use use. So I put my big comforter from Lakeside Collection in there. And if you've never used these before, they're all over the infomercials and everything. It's basically a big Ziploc baggie. You seal it shut, and then you take a vacuum cleaner. I used my Dyson handheld vacuum, but any vacuum nozzle, and you suck out all the air through this little hole thing. And then you close it up, and it basically saves all this space. You can store it in bins or under your bed or in any drawers or wherever you need to save space. So after I tried it with the comforter, I put in a bunch of these throw pillows into one of the big Ziploc baggy basically things, sealed it up, took my Dyson handheld, sucked out all the air, and it saved so much space. I was able to fit all my pillows, I think, but one, and then my comforter in this bin. It was amazing. It saved so much space. So I highly recommend this if you have a lot of throw pillows or throw blankets that you use around certain holidays. And I know this is kind of like a known tip or trick right here, but I just never thought to use it for my Halloween decorations. Like I actually bought these for my winter coats to store those. So I was like, oh, that's definitely easy, but I didn't think about using it for throw pillows. All right, so here I'm just stuffing my Space Saver bags into the bins and closing it up. I fit a whole quilt and like 6 or 7 pillows into this one bin. I am so proud of myself. And then I went ahead and I put a label and marked it as bedding/pillows. So here's kind of where I'll get into how I changed things up this year. So this year I decided to try something a little bit different and store everything by themes. So here is a bin that's going to be all vampire theme. It has a lot of stuff from my vampire table that I did this year. So I have some centerpieces and some skulls and a couple other pieces. Honestly, a lot of the stuff from this theme, the vampire theme or Dracula theme, stays out in my house all year round because it's just a lot of dark aesthetic pieces like candelabras, skulls, that kind of thing. But I did have my little vampire tote. All right, next I started loading up a bin with all of my witchy themed stuff, which I moved to my kitchen this year. It was in my powder room last year. So just starting to put away some witchy things. And also for the breakable things, I wanted to show you this little tip. So if you remember back, if you watched my Decorate With Me video, back when we decorated for Halloween in October, I had taken the time to fold up any bubble wrap and tissue paper. And maybe this is nerdy, but throughout the year, I will save all my tissue paper from gift bags or from Home Goods or Michaels when they wrap anything breakable in paper or any bubble wrap that I get in any packages. I save all of it. And that way, as I decorate, I will just fill the empty bins with any tissue paper or bubble wrap. I will fold it and put it away in the bin, so it's so much easier when I go to pack things away. So anything with glass, I will wrap with bubble wrap if I have it. If not, I will just wrap it a few times with tissue paper, and that usually does the trick. Anything that's plaster or that can chip or anything like that, I will wrap in tissue paper just to protect it, even if it's just a little small layer. Anything, and usually if it's metal or anything like that, I don't worry about it. But if you're worried about paint chipping off or anything like that, go ahead and wrap your stuff because better safe than sorry. I had one year where there was one bin that I didn't wrap things and a few things broke that I loved so much and couldn't replace, and I was devastated. So now I wrap just about everything. Also, I had some extra space in this bin, so I put a couple of plushes in here. And when storing my plushes, I do the same thing as I did a couple years ago in my storage video where I put them in Ziploc baggies. That way they just get a little bit of extra protection just in case there's a flood or moths or something gets to them. Also, when I labeled this, I made sure I put witches and plushes. That way, if I'm looking for my plushes specifically, I know where they're at. But in general, I can just pull them out and then I'll have all my witch stuff together. And that's kind of why I did it this way. So my previous storage video, I had stored everything by area of my home because that's kind of how I decorated for Halloween. I usually did the same mantle or similar mantle every year, similar kitchen area, similar dining room, all that kind of stuff. But since last year, I started doing themes. And I'm wanting to move the themes around every year. So for example, the witch theme in my kitchen this year was in my bathroom last year. So that's why I decided to kind of try out the whole storage by theme situation. So each bin has a different theme, or if it's not a specific theme, like there are some pieces that are just random that I don't have anything like it. So I will have like a Halloween miscellaneous area or bin. But I typically know what those pieces are. They're usually like filler pieces that I kind of try to squeeze in here and there. Or I will store it by like items, like this is all wall decor, and or I decided to put some neons in here. But a lot of times with stuff like this, like wall decor and neons, maybe centerpieces, wreaths, I'm usually looking for them specifically. So I'm not looking for them by theme. I'm like, oh, I need some wall decor here, or oh, I need some light here, so I got to go find a neon. So maybe if storing things by theme or by area doesn't work for you, maybe the way to go would be where you would first look for it. Like, what bin would you go for to look for this item if you're wondering where you should store it? That's another good tip maybe. Also, a really, really, really good tip that I live by now is taking the batteries out of each and every single item that has batteries in them. It is an extra step, but it's so worth it because I've noticed my pieces last so much longer now that batteries aren't corroding inside of them when I'm storing them away. That just sounds really dark, but I mean, they light up forever now. Okay, moving on to my carolers. I am just wrapping up my carolers in bubble wrap and storing them in this bin. And then with the extra bubble wrap that's kind of sticking up over their head, I will kind of fold it over and then tape it. That way, once again, I get a little bit of extra protection as far as if there's any water or bugs or anything like that. Shouldn't be a problem, especially in these bins, but just in case, I like to make sure my Halloween decorations are nice and secure and packed away for the long year ahead. They've got a whole year of standing in a bin. And for now, I'm storing them standing up because it's kind of the perfect fit. It's just snug enough to where they won't fall over the place or anything like that. But they also don't have to lay down or on top of each other so they don't crush each other. So that's what I'm doing for now. Also, once again, I'm using some recycled bubble wrap that I've gotten from packaging and all sorts of stuff or whatever decor I had bought over the years that I just save and set aside for later, and you never know when it'll come in handy. So once again, just saving all the plastic wrap or bubble wrap or paper and tissue and all the things is one of my favorite tips ever when it comes to storing things. I love it. All right, once I got my carolers all stored away, I think I eventually found a lid to that thing, but I probably went to go look for it. All right, so my last place I took apart and my favorite place ever and saddest place to see go was my Halloween mantle. This makes me so happy every single day. And a lot of people are like, why don't you leave it up all year round? And the reason is, I don't know, there's something special about having it up during Halloween and changing the themes every year and doing that now. I just get so excited every year. I'm like, oh, what's the theme going to be next year? And I just get, I don't know, there's something to it. It's extra special around Halloween, and all throughout the rest of the year, it's dark as well and branchy and has some dark spooky things. But when I take it down, it makes it even more exciting for next year, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So anyways, so here I'm just wrapping everything and storing it as we were before, just wrapping it in paper. This stuff isn't breakable. I just didn't want the paint to chip off because it is paint on top of plastic, and if they bump together, I was worried that these specific items might chip because I saw at the store that a couple of them were chipped. So I just wanted to be sure. So I'm just starting to take down all the little jack-o'-lantern things and storing them in my jack-o'-lantern themed bin. And actually this area is what gave me the idea to store everything by theme, because when I was decorating for Halloween, if you've been hanging out here for a little while, you know my favorite area and the first place I decorate every year is my mantle. And I knew this year that I wanted to do a jack-o'-lantern theme, but I had stored everything by random areas of the house or just in random numbered boxes. So if you see the boxes with the duct tape that says box 6 or box 5 or whatever, and you're wondering what that is, that's where it's from, with a list of items inside of it. If you watch the last storage video, you'll know what I'm talking about. I made a list of everything that was in the box and took a picture of it, which is great. It's super helpful if I'm looking for something specific. But the thing is, I was looking of a lot of things that were specific. So I basically ended up having to take everything out of the boxes and just find all the jack-o'-lanterns and set them aside. And it was way more work and way more of a mess than it could have been if I would have just stored it by theme instead. So that's kind of why I did it this way, or was inspired to at least try it and see how it goes next year. And so anyways, here I'm just wrapping things with extra tissue paper. You'll see Spirit Halloween tissue paper that I saved up. And sometimes it makes me feel like I'm saving trash or saving clutter, but in the long run, it is so worth it. So everything is all wrapped and nothing is broken or damaged. It makes me so happy every year when I unwrap everything and I don't have to wonder if it's going to be in a million pieces. Okay, moving on to this big old clear bin. This is my jack-o'-lantern bin, and I put all of my plastic jack-o'-lanterns. Most of them are from Target. A couple of them are from At Home this year. I did not wrap these because the smaller ones would be easy. I maybe should have wrapped those, but the larger ones, it's a pain in the butt to wrap them. And honestly, I've stored them like this several times, and I've never had any issues with any paint coming off. So if I start having issues, I will definitely wrap them. But at this point, I don't think there's any need to. And I fit most of my jack-o'-lanterns in there, and you'll see coming up that I did have a couple left over. So I kind of just squeeze them in with my other jack-o'-lantern themed, like if there's any extra space like there is in this bin that you'll see coming up. But here I'm just once again wrapping all of my breakable items. I ended up putting some bubble wrap at the bottom just for a little extra cushion since I ran out of bubble wrap. So I didn't have enough to wrap these mercury glass lanterns in, and they are kind of larger, heavier glass lanterns. And I did wrap them with a couple of layers of tissue paper and then that thicker paper that they wrap stuff with at Home Goods. But I thought maybe the bubble wrap would just be a little extra cushion at the bottom. And then, like I mentioned before, put a couple extra jack-o'-lanterns in here and then just continued to fill up the box or bin or whatever this is with more jack-o'-lantern themed things. And then I put a little label on the outside and marked it Jack's just in case I'm looking for them. And I just kind of put the label in there for that purpose, just in case I was wondering what was inside or looking for something. Also, I had some room in another one of my bins with all the jack-o'-lantern stuff in it. So I put these little jack-o'-lantern guys with the clown hats, the little pedestal things, wrapped them up and kind of just tried to find a space for them. And sometimes it's a little bit of a game of Tetris. You got to move some things around, find just the right fit. You don't want it too tight to where it's crushing anything, but not too much room to where you feel like you're wasting space. It's always a little bit of a balance there, but I always have fun and I find it super therapeutic for whatever reason. All right, moving on to the next bin, I put this really large piece and I wrapped it lightly. It's not super breakable. It's just, once again, has paint on it, so I didn't want it to chip and just wanted a little bit of extra something around it. So it was like a witch hat on some books. And then I put my spooky houses in here as well. I kind of ended up wrapping them like a present and then putting them in here. It just seemed to be the best way to wrap them. Nothing super fancy, just enough to get it covered and protected, and then put it away nice and snug in the box. Also, I had some signs that were too long for the regular size totes, so I decided since I had a little bit of room on top of these jack-o'-lanterns, I put some paper down to protect them, and then I put the signs on top. It was the perfect fit, and honestly, I'm so excited about this because they actually have a place to go. So if you're looking for a bin for signs or larger items like that, maybe outdoor stuff, I highly recommend this bin for that. Okay, moving on to this little clear bin situation or tote situation. This was one that I had recently decluttered and had just an empty bin laying around that was this clear bin. So I decided to use this as my floral bin, and I use floral all year round for different backdrops, for photos, videos, different things like that. So I definitely wanted to use a clear bin for this so I could see everything inside of it and just know where to go to get my florals when I'm looking for them, because I think last year I put them in a different bin and I could never find them and they were stacked under things. So I can make sure this one goes on top or just put it in my office or something like that so I can always have access to it. So love that I finally have a floral bin where I know what's in it. And I also just ended up peeling the sticker off the top because I know I'm keeping this for florals for a while. So I put a new sticker on it and marked it florals, and we're moving on. All right, the very last thing I took off my mantle was my Happy Halloween sign, and everything else stayed up for now. My branchy trees, my headless horseman, and a couple lanterns. I left them up there because I'm not sure what I'm doing for Christmas yet, like my Christmas decor or my winter decor, so I'm leaving it up for now. And then I started going through my twinkle lights and making sure they all light up. And then I started untangling all the lights and wrapping them all nice and neat, and then storing them by color in different Ziploc baggies. So one Ziploc baggie had all of my yellow twinkle lights and the other one had all my red twinkle lights. And that way they're ready to be used for my Christmas decor that I'll be doing here coming up. So, and honestly, I just thoroughly enjoyed this part. I put on an audiobook and just zoned out and was wrapping up these little twinkle lights as Neens took her little nap, and I covered her up all nice and snug, and it was so cute. We just sat there and cuddled, and once again, this was so therapeutic. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I highly recommend untangling and rewrapping your twinkle lights for a good time. Not really. And while I was at it, I went and collected all of my little tea lights, all of my black little tea lights, and all of my orange tea lights, and just put them in separate Ziploc baggies. And once again, I will use my black tea lights for Christmas time and some of my little lanterns or votives or anything like that, but I will put the orange ones away with my Halloween decor because I don't typically use them with any other decor, just with Halloween. So, and here's a cute little shot just for good measure of Neen's pretending she's not falling asleep while she's actually falling asleep. She's fighting it so hard. All right, moving on to my front door area, I vacuumed my Ouija rug with my favorite thing ever, my Dyson handheld vac. And then I left the owl and floral situations next to the door just in case I want to use it for my winter decor or my Christmas decor. And I just rolled up my rug to prepare it for storage. All right, moving on, I'm just clearing off my dining room table and getting my tablecloth all folded up. And I actually store my tablecloths in my office because I use them all year round for backdrops and things like that. And then everything on the buffet table back there, I kind of set it aside because I have to take it up to my office or take it down into my basement until the holidays are over because a lot of that stuff is used for my all year round decor. So I kind of just left it there for now. Also, I totally forgot to mention decluttering in this video. I don't even think I mentioned it. Maybe I did, but I don't think I did. I'll mention it now. Just throw it in at the end. Okay, so with decluttering, I usually declutter my decorations as I'm decorating, not as I'm storing it. Because if I wait until I'm storing things, I'll try to make excuses like, oh, I'll use this next year. I'll totally use this. But as I'm decorating, I can kind of visualize what I'm going to use and what I'm not going to use because it won't match my themes, or there'll be a bin with a bunch of things left over in it that I never ended up using or haven't used for several years. So I'll just go ahead and declutter it then. So that's kind of my tip on that, why I wasn't really decluttering during this process. And then here I'm just clearing out the fireplace area. I'm leaving the spooky house just in case I want to use it for my winter decor or Christmas decor. I'm not sure yet. And then I also straightened up my mantle, just kind of arranged the lanterns a little bit, left the spooky branches, and I'll be taking that down to clean anyways because I'm going to get some deep cleaning going on. But yeah, it looks so bare in here, but I'm also kind of excited to get things cleaned. And then we're going to move on to our dark aesthetic Christmas decor. So here I'm just taking all my boxes down to the basement and putting them away, which a storage video will eventually come. I've been wanting to give my storage room a makeover for years now, and I just haven't gotten to it. So I'm hoping this winter. So yeah, that is it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up. Say hey ghoul hey down in the comments because you know I love talking to you. Also, I always love hearing different tips and tricks for storage and organizing and all that kind of thing. So if you have any of those, you can leave them in the comments if you want. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.